Hello and welcome to Topham Chats. This week my guest is yet again Xcalante. Hey man, how's it going?
Hey, everything's going great, man.
Excellent. So, how's it been going? This weekend you took part in Audrey's Fibro Fighters stream, and things went well on that in general, but yeah,
Yeah,
how did you enjoy it?
it went just way better than I guess we had expected. I mean, we had a goal of $250, and
Mm-hmm.
I was working at not working. I was volunteering at my local comic shop for Free Comic Book Day at the time, and I just get a message from Audrey, and she's like, "Hey, by the way, you should get some purple nail polish because we just hit your goal." And I was like, "Oh crap!" But yeah, and then I had the last shift of the entire stream, which was the 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. shift. And I will tell you, there were times where I was like dozing off, and I was like, "No, get back up, wake up!"
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun, man.
Yeah, I just like popped in because I knew you were playing Diablo 3, and I was just like, oh, you probably need some encouragement. So I just like tried to join in and just like connected my headset up and was just like, yeah, let's do this. And then Rachel got up and she was just like, let's talk, and I was like, okay. And so yeah, it was just it was a lot of fun. So we were just like, yeah, let's do that. And then yeah, I had to stop talking at you because like everyone else couldn't hear what I was saying to you or anything. So it's just like. Tee. But we were just running around in Diablo, just going through the story. I decided to use my Demon Hunter for a while, which probably shouldn't have done because you were playing Wizard, but, you know, two ranged characters, it's okay. You've got that disintegration rate.
Oh, it's so good, man. Rachel was not lying whenever she said I was gonna fall in love with it the moment that I used it.
Yeah. I'm just like, I just need to hit that level on my Wizard, and I'll be like, yay! Bzzz, to everything. It's so good. But, like, yeah, as a pure, like, damage hit, there's, like, one move that I've got that's better than it on my Monk, and that's because I've got equipment that boosts one of the moves by 400%. And I'm just like, okay. And yeah, I just got a legendary gem as well that gives me, like, 2000% poison damage to anything I hit over 10 seconds. So I'm just like, oh, that's ridiculous, that's so much fun. You just hit things and hopefully they'll die, but now we're playing on Torment 2, so who really knows?
It's exciting, man. I love playing Diablo.
It's certainly been a lot of fun, and yeah, Diablo's just it's a good game to play in a group of people. I don't think I've really loaded it up alone that much at all, and now it's like I only really play it when other people are online, and that's the sign of a good multiplayer game for me. Like, I won't put it on unless there's other people online. But I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls 3 as well, which is a lot of fun, but I don't need people online to play it. So I'm just like, I'll just throw it on, and then I'll go and beat a boss. If I beat a boss, I will... So my aim when playing Dark Souls 3, and it'll be on this video, like, while we're talking, the video I'll put underneath it will be Dark Souls 3 gameplay. I will beat a boss. I'll try and do it on my own. I actually beat the boss that I'm going to show first time because it's one of the easiest bosses in the game. And then I'll just try and get myself summoned 10 times to help other people beat the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm an okay player at the Dark Souls games. And so I'll like hop in and just be like, oh, I'll help out here. I just happen to have beaten like one of the easiest bosses in the game, so I'm like, oh, this is easy. Might as well do it. But I've been doing it on Abyss Watchers as well, which is like one of the tougher bosses in the game, actually. I was looking at a ranking, they put it 4th of the 19th bosses. Like, 4th hardest. And I was just like,
Wow.
I don't have too much problem with it. When there's another person there, it's certainly easier because they do a lot of damage to one person, and then the other person can catch their attention, and they'll switch focus and, like, stop attacking. So, I don't know. It's kind of easier when there's other people around, but... Yeah, I try to beat the bosses solo because that's just how I play.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go and help other people because I like the game so much. I just like gather so many souls as well. It's a really nice way to just be like, oh, I need a bunch of souls, so I might as well just try and beat bosses with people. I've heard from people that it's a way better way to like get souls to level. So I'm kind of playing recklessly when I do play on my own and I'm just trying to get through places.
Right.
And so, like, I'll play recklessly, but that doesn't really matter because I know there's, like, certain places in the game where I can go and I can be like, oh, there's guaranteed souls here where I can pick souls up to level up. and they're not insignificant amounts as well when you help other people. Like in Dark Souls 1, you used to pick up the same amount of experience as you did when you beat the boss solo, so that was a really easy way to hoard a lot of souls.
Okay.
Whereas in this game, it gives you like a fraction of them, usually about a quarter to a third of them. But there's a lot of people playing right now as well, so I'm like waiting at most 2 minutes before I get summoned to help someone. So that's a nice thing about it right now, especially mainly because it's just come out. But
I should really like, I don't know, like I want to play that, but I feel like I would get frustrated with it, and I would just eventually get so mad, and I wouldn't want to play it anymore.
Yeah, I think I'm lucky in that I was determined and committed to completing Dark Souls 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because that attitude carried through. Like, I gave up on Dark Souls 2 because it was kind of frustrating and didn't play the same as Dark Souls 1. And then I got back into it with Bloodborne, finished Bloodborne, and that's a phenomenal game. But the Hunter's so much faster than the Undead or whatever it is, the Hollow, from Dark Souls. So it's kind of a different style of game, but it's still got the same mechanics. The bosses are challenging and things like that. So I don't know. I found it rewarding. And then, like, because I played Bloodborne most recently, you heal on hitting enemies in Bloodborne if you're like aggressive enough and hit at the right times. Dark Souls, I get hit. I'm just like, I can just keep wailing on them, but like my health's not coming back. Oh no, this isn't working. As I'm trying to wail at all these enemies, I'm just like, maybe I should retreat and try and stay alive. So it's yeah, it was certainly like a learning experience to be like, this doesn't play the same. But like, I'm kind of in my groove now, so I know what I'm doing. And
Nice.
I feel like I'm ripping through it. Usually I play like a magic kind of build, so I'm just like casting sorceries from afar. But I was getting frustrated at a boss, and I was like 9 hours into the game. I was like, I don't know what I'm trying to achieve here. And I just could not beat this boss. Started up a strength build, got to that boss and beat it in 2 hours. And so I'd like effectively done everything I'd done in 9 hours in 2 hours. I'm just like, well, I should probably stick with this build. And so far, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Like, I'm playing like a female barbarian, basically, massive strength, and just... Yeah, I was playing a male sorcerer, and I was like, why not mix it up? Throw a female barbarian together, huge sword, and just, shenanigans. I'm just like, this is so much fun. I don't know why I didn't try this first. But, you know, it's an RPG, so you're picking things that you like, things you... figuring out what you don't like, and, like, then basing your character around its likes and dislikes. So I'll go back to the sorcerer for sure, but it won't be soon. It'll be once I finish the game, probably.
That's rad. See, like, I don't know. It's just one of those games where I'm just like, I want to play it, but I don't. I just can't dedicate myself to like buying it.
Yeah, I know. I completely understand. It's like, it's because you're gonna get frustrated. It's going to be difficult until you like get over the curve, and the curve might take you the whole game, like it did for me with Dark Souls. It took me like 80 hours to get through the original Dark Souls, and I'm just like, man, that game felt like it was tough. Then I go back and I'm playing it now, like the original one I can run through in about 10 hours, like the whole game, and like I don't know, like it's so weird that, but it's just so rewarding when you beat a boss, like you finally beat a boss. The one I beat today, not particularly the best boss to say it's rewarding, because it was so easy. It's like it's kind of just like a formality. You turn up and it's like, oh, hello, slash, I win, yay! Because, you know, that's what it's like. But yeah, how do we get there? Oh my, I went on a bit of a tangent there, didn't I?
We were talking about the strams that we did.
Strams, yeah. So we ended up, I say we, I was in the chat for most of it. I like went to sleep when Wartburg was like starting up.
Okay.
I think, because it went Raph, then Maddie.
Derek, I think.
No, then Wartburg, then Derek.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got the end of Derek. Then Tilly or Izzy. Same person. And then it was you. And yeah, when we were on, was it on yours or was it at the end of Tilly's, like mid Tilly's, when we hit the $500 goal?
It
Like
was 24
extra
minutes
goal.
into mine.
Ah, okay. So yeah, that all happened. We were like, "Oh my god, we're so good!"
I was
And,
absolutely blown away by that, man. I was just like, who? What?
Yeah. Yeah, so we were just like, "Oh yeah, let's just have a good time." And I had a great time, just chilling out, watching stuff, watching people play games. I was chilling out, watching things, playing games as well, just on the side. And it kind of made me go, "Oh, I think I can stream." And I'm just like, "No, I don't want to. I don't want to do it alone." That's the thing. I'm just like, I don't really enjoy doing things alone, and you know, it's one of those things that I'm not very good at doing things. I don't know. I'm okay at doing things solo. I just like I wouldn't watch it. So if I'm not going to watch it, I don't want to do it. No,
Right.
I feel like I shouldn't do it.
I feel like okay, so everyone who streamed before me they're streamers, you know, and they're
Yes.
good at it,
Yeah.
and they know what to do and all that. And then I feel like I'm the guy who's like, not like, how do I? Man, I'm gonna sound like a kind of like a dick saying this, but like I feel like Audrey is like, all right, well, I know Andres streams, so let's add him to the bunch, which isn't true. She likes me, you know, because like I'm always down to help out for whatever, you know, and it doesn't matter what it is. Like I'm like, yeah, let's do it, aces, let's go. But I feel like that guy who's like, I have an Xbox and I have the Twitch app, because all the other guys have like freaking layouts and like all this other cool stuff, and I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
you know, I'm here, I'll just do this. But no, I mean, like, it's fun for me too, because like I get to talk to people, and like as long as there's people in my stream, I'll chat and I'll just talk, and you know, like I can play games solo. In fact, I actually kind of prefer to do it that way sometimes, except for like Diablo I wouldn't mind playing with people. That's why, like, as soon as you were like, you want to play, and I was like, yeah, dude, just join in. But no, I don't know. I feel like those guys are so much cooler and way better at streaming than I ever could be.
It's just one of those things. People are better at some things than others. But like you were great, and it was just like, yeah, you were just chatting away. It was fun. I was originally like you were playing for a while, and I was playing Dark Souls 3. I was just like chilling out. Dark Souls 3, yeah, this is amazing. Just playing along, and I was like, oh, I could jump in there. All I was doing was inventory management in Destiny. Even I switched to Destiny for a bit. I was like, yeah, I should do some inventory management. That's all I was doing. I've got too many guns in that game, too many things that I don't use, and I'm just like, I just need to clear it up. I've still got like 80 weapons in my vault that I'm never going to use, but I don't know why I keep them. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a state. So I'm just like, oh well. And yeah, I've just been having too much fun with that in general. But yeah, so I saw earlier today that day 5 has oh my god, I can't remember. It's like June 19th?
Yes, June 19th.
Yes!
There's a teaser that got released today. It was awesome looking, and
I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh man, it's so cool. Like
I saw the date.
it's just so rad, because like I'd always wondered what day 5 meant, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's this," and like I'm not gonna try and spoil it, but I mean, granted, at this point, whenever people listen to this, they'll already have watched it, you know, hypothetically. But it's just like I was, I guess, the weird one in my head who thought, well, maybe it's about this certain type of thing. Turns out I was right, and when you watch it, you'll be like, oh, okay. So I mean, it looks like it's a fun, well, not fun, but it looks like a cool drama, you know, and like not exactly like a horror film, but just like a suspense thriller style show, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's Rooster Teeth, so I'm gonna watch it. And so I don't know what to say about it. I still haven't watched theatre mode though, so like
Neither have I.
I'm like, it's only like an hour long as well, so I'm like, I can totally bang that out like in an evening. I'm totally gonna bang it out sometime this week, like watch it. But I just haven't had a chance to give it a chance. So I don't know. But yeah, Red vs Blue started up.
Yep. And so
like,
I think was it Ruby Chibi as well?
Ruby Chibi also started, which was hilarious, and like, yeah, it was a good one. It's only like 3.5 minutes long. It's just like animated short sketches,
right?
And they're funny, and I'm just like, this is good. This is enjoyable.
I definitely need to watch that one.
Yeah, I saw someone get frustrated with it because it kind of goes against like some of the characters that they've defined throughout the seasons, but at the same time, it's meant to be silly and
I was gonna say it seems like it's not. I mean, it's not canon to the Ruby storyline. It's just the characters silly.
yes,
Like being silly with each other and all that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been pretty cool. Red vs Blue was an animation that they showed ages ago. There's a clip of it from like 2010. I knew I'd seen it before as soon as it came up, but it looks like they've got a proper ending to it now, and that was cool. It was cool to see what they did with it eventually. And it's just like, that's what that is. And I'm really looking forward to the season, just because it looks like there's so much different things going on, and the one of Caboose and Caboose's story just looks so good. I want to know who's done that, and I really want to know who's done it, and also which one the Game Grumps have done, because I just want to know that. I'm just, yeah.
It's so exciting, man. I love whenever the shows come back.
Yeah, it's certainly an exciting time right now. So I'm excited about all of that stuff. You're running a Kickstarter right now.
In Indiegogo, yeah.
That's the one. I just got the wrong website. Oh no, what a shame. Yeah, for your comic book that you're making with Deco.
Yes, sir, with
One Blue Wolf
himself.
And
Yeah,
it is called Sleeping Lions, and why don't you tell us more about it, because you're certainly in a better position than I.
Well, it's a comic idea that we've had for almost a year now. And over the past year, we've kind of been off and on working on it. Deco and I both went some ordeals over the past year, and now we're just kind of like, you know what, screw it. Let's just, dedicate as much time to the project as we can. And that's pretty much what we're doing. And Deco convinced me that, hey, let's start this Indiegogo. And I said, perfect, let's do it, whatever. I have faith in you. You have faith in the comic. Let's do this. But it's a story about a guy named Ari, who has been not a superhero, but a hero for this town called Empire City. This town, it's a city. But
this town with city in the name.
Exactly. But he's been a hero, and he thinks that he's like the newest and biggest and best thing that's ever come out of Empire City. But Empire City has had heroes before who were super, and heroes that vanished somehow. And we have a preview of the comic already up. I think it's like 16 pages worth of the comic of our first issue, which will be 32 pages. Or at least that's what we counted so far. We'll see if we add or take away. I think, if anything, we'll add more pages. But right now, I want to say we're at 17% funded after 3 weeks, which we're looking for $5,000, and it's mostly just for equipment that Deco needs to draw. Whether we get to that or not, I mean, it's really up to just people believing in the project. And man, I could give you a whole speech as to why you should believe in it, but I don't want people to just give because they feel like, oh, I'll help these guys out. I want people to be passionate about it as well and say, you know what, yeah, I want to see what this turns out to be. There are people who know some of the story, and they're just like, what the hell? Where are you going with this? This is interesting. And Deco every day he'll tell me, hey man, listen, you just keep writing amazing stuff and I can draw it. And I'm just like, oh, stop it, you. But it's really fun and it's exciting, and usually on the weekends, him and I will get together and we'll hash out something. Last week, because I knew we weren't going to be able to do anything this weekend, we drew a bunch of concept design for characters that we have that are key characters or major characters in the world. So Ari has a brother named Dante. We drew a couple villains up. We drew up secondary characters that have vital roles eventually down the line. And it's just really exciting. And we actually came up with the ending for the first volume, which we're going to have 6 issues. Mm-hmm. And that'll be volume 1 of Sleeping Lions. And I came up with a brilliant idea of how to end it. And Deco was like, oh man, that's amazing. We should absolutely keep that. So I'm excited to, get this out and in the hands of people who want to read it. So we're going to have a digital issue. We're going to have special backer covers. We're going to have regular covers. I mean, if you're so inclined, you could even spend some big bucks And as soon as we get a graphic novel published with all 6 volumes, we will send that to you, autographed and everything. So,
Woo!
yeah, I'm really hoping that we reach our goal. But if not, I mean, we will find a way to make it happen. Hopefully.
Yeah. Ah, cool. It sounds like things are going well.
Absolutely, man. I'm so excited. If you go to Indiegogo.com and you just look up Sleeping Lions, we're like one of the top trending comics. We've got people who are, asking us to do interviews for it. And I told Deco, I was like, if it's for art, you talk to them, because you're the one who knows everything about the artwork and you're the one who's drawing it. If it's for writing or anything like that, I mean, I'll write whatever you need me to write.
Uh-huh. Cool.
But it's a lot of fun, and I love coming on, podcasts and other people's shows, because everyone's like, I want to know about this comic, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I want to talk to you about it.
Nice, yeah. So, cool. That's, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come out with. I know Deco's art, and, it's so good. I'm just like, jealous.
It is. I tell him all the time, I'm like, man, you're one of my favorite artists, and he always goes, one of them? I'm not the only one? And I'm just like, oh, shut up, dude.
Yeah, cool. So, speaking of projects, I guess, I'm in the process right now of trying to think of a way to rebrand this podcast. Kind of fed up of it being Topham Chats, and I want a different name to it. So I'm currently thinking of that, just as a way to change things. I'm going to change it, it's going to go episode 100, it's going to stop at episode 100, and then I'm going to start a new thing, from episode 1. And just, go from there and see what happens.
That's awesome, man. I love the idea of rebranding and changing things up and all that.
Yeah, I just want to get to 100 episodes, and, originally I just I'll just do it until I'm bored of it, and then now I'm just I just want to keep going, but I want to change the branding and the aesthetic of it all, because I've been doing it for 100 episodes, and it's kind of diverted away from what my original idea was, which was interviews with various community members from the Rooster Teeth community, and now I've slowly moved away from that to just doing a conversational one-on-one podcast with a bunch of regular guests,
right?
And just talking about gaming and movies and things like that. And I've kind of just got to the point where I'm just I don't really need to affiliate or associate with the Rooster Teeth community strictly.
Right,
but it'll be something to bring up from time to time, just because, it's one of those things, Rooster Teeth's great, and it's something to do, but at the same time, there's no real pulling focus, keeping the community holding strong and staying together, apart from small little events that are going on around the place. And there's less, I don't know, I'm seeing less and less promotion from Rooster Teeth to use the community functions on the site. So I'm not discovering anyone new on the site at all, which is problematic, because I've got a whole bunch of different people that I know on the site, and I'm going to be meeting up with them, but I've not met anyone new in quite a while. And the only times I've really met any people new are when I've gone to the RT UK meetups.
Okay.
Or someone else has introduced me to someone that they've met either through the site or just through other people by association. So it's, I don't know, I'm having a hard time with the community and things like that, but
no, I mean, I think a lot of people are, and it definitely sucks that that's the way it seems.
Yeah.
But through all of this, it sparks new creative ideas. I mean, you are gonna try something completely new.
Yeah, I'm gonna try, and all I want to do is rebrand it and just keep it going with the same people. But I want it to be the highly excitable podcast, and just that's kind of the idea that I'm going for, because I get quite excited about things. Who knew? And I want to kind of pursue that, and then I've written journals for, as of today, 859 days in a row. So I'm good at consistency. I've done up to now 96 episodes of a podcast every week in a row, and It's just one of those things I want to like kind of be like, oh, I kind of want to put a crowbar in and move myself away a bit from Rooster Teeth and the Rooster Teeth site that I've been on for so long. But at the same time, I don't really know where to turn to other than starting my own website and trying to host things on there and like learning all that stuff, which costs stuff. But
Yeah,
you
it
know,
does.
it's at the moment it's a bit of a struggle just trying to figure it out and get my head around a few things. But I can still keep writing journals on the Rooster Teeth site, and then everything's okay still, so that's fine. And I've got a bunch of other things that I'm working on anyway, just mostly music stuff, and then I've got a shoegaze project coming up soon, so starting this weekend I'll be working on a shoegaze song for the next 2 weeks, and then yeah, hopefully that'll be good. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but who does, because right now there's nothing recorded, but at the weekend I'm probably just going to sit down and try and write music for a few hours. But that's why I was working on like really reverby guitars that are on my Instagram right now. It's like, oh yeah, they're really ridiculously reverbed because I have my tape echo set up, all 3 of the settings on, so I've got a short delay, a mid delay, and a long delay, and it just swells. And then I've got reverb up to max, and it just sounds so good. I'm just like, this is amazing. But yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about because I forgot. And I reminded myself when I was like, oh, I want to talk about movies and things like that. Haha! Yes! Civil War!
Yeah, buddy.
What did you think of it?
Oh my gosh, it is my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's probably one of my favorite comic book films. The only other comic book film that I really liked, and I liked it just because the actor who was in it really was Constantine.
Okay.
Because that comes from, a comic book universe.
Yeah.
And but this one...
That's the one with Keanu Reeves, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But Marvel, the Civil War was just, it had its funny moments, but it wasn't like a comedy. And it had its great fight scenes, and there was emotion in it. I took my mom to go see it. My mom's not a real big comic book fan. We walked out of that theater, and she goes, I want to see the next one when it comes out with you. And I was like, yes, exactly.
Nice.
Like, my dad, who doesn't like, fantasy-style films and all that, he likes, like, war films and stuff, like, things that were based in an actual reality,
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he's been seeing the trailers for it, and my mom told him, and she was like, I think you'll like it. He wants to go see it, so we're probably going to go see it again Friday.
Nice.
But it was just such a good film, and it was just such a fun experience. Cool. And you got to see so many big-name comic characters. And like, one of my buddies explained it to me this way. He says, Batman versus Superman, Ben Affleck came out, and he performed, and he was a great Batman. Everyone else in that film they were good actors, but in Civil War, every single actor came out in full force.
Mm-hmm.
And no one was overshadowed or anything like that. Everyone was just... They did an amazing job, and I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
I think kind of... I thought it was a good film. I didn't think it was the best. I think Guardians is definitely better.
Okay.
Because it's Guardians, and it's like kind of separate. And then there's a few other things. There's a few other ones that I think are great, but that's particularly because I like the people in them a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Dark World, Thor, because Kat Dennings is just hilarious. I just find Kat Dennings hilarious no matter what she's in. So I'm just like, I'm swayed by the Dark World. I'm sure plenty of people are just like, that's not a very good film, but I'm just like, it's plenty good enough for me. It's got Thor and Kat Dennings. Yes.
Good to go.
Yeah. And then, the original Avengers was also excellent. But yeah, Civil War really, like, it's a good idea. This say good idea. Well, like it's new. No, it's a great storyline for them to like portray in the movie, in the cinematic universe. And it works well. And they got Spider-Man, and they're just like, yes, he was one of the best parts of the film, for sure.
I completely agree. And he was sarcastic, and he was witty, and he was a young guy. It was awesome.
Yeah. There were a few things I did have a problem with. One was Scarlet Witch, but it's only because of her costume. And then The other was Cap's romantic interest, which I thought was completely ridiculous, uncalled for, and like completely unrequired.
Like, I mean, they built it up from what's Winter Soldier. Like there was some tension there, and you could tell that like these two characters I see, but it almost felt kind of unnecessary. Now here's the thing, it wasn't a love story, and that's why I'm okay with it, because it was very much just like, hey, good luck, and that's why I was like, okay. I mean, like I'm not mad at them, but I think what happened afterwards, whenever him and the love interest, had their moment, just what the other two characters are just like, all right, because that was funny to me.
Yeah, I think that was funny. I think that my problem with it is that like he was interested in.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah,
but like it's. I mean, when you watch the movie, you'll be like, wait a second, what?
Yeah, and so I was like, I thought that kind of just like. I don't know, stepped on the toes of what's come in the past. So
yeah, it was definitely odd to say the least. But I don't know. Like, the good news is it didn't ruin the film for me, and I'm sure it didn't ruin the film for you either.
No, not at all.
You were just kind of like, what?
But,
no,
yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was a great film.
Cool. So I guess I'll end by asking this question, and if it goes horrendously, the call will drop. Okay, Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
Sorry, Tony. He's my friend. Team Cap!
Oh no, we can no longer be friends. No, I'm Team Iron Man, but like, yeah, I think, I don't know. My sister was also Team Cap. I was like, no, Team Iron Man. And they were like, family over, as we were all out on a family walk as well. So that went well. But, yeah, like, I don't know. I side with Iron Man's logic and the way he thought about things, whereas the way Cap thinks about things, it's like, that's a bit intense.
And I mean, like, there are people who are going in with the idea of, like, people who've read the comic. And they're like, oh no, this person's more just than this person, or this person's plan makes sense more than this person. They're
both valid.
Yeah, they're both very valid.
You just gotta make your own mind up.
And it's just, it's tough. Like, I'm all about, friendship and like, you never leave a friend behind, blah, 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 things like that. But it's still even difficult whenever you watch the film and you're just like, I don't know, man, it's still tough.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, it was, it's definitely a tough decision. And, oh well. There's other tough decisions that are going on in the world right now that are actually real and not fictitious. So I'm trying to concern my mind with those. And so that's fun. But we've gone on for quite some time today. But I will say thank you very much for being my guest.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm always happy to be on this show.
No problem. And where can we find you across the internet, as well as your Sleeping Lions project?
On Sleeping Lions, you can just go to Indiegogo and type in Sleeping Lions as two separate words in the search bar, and we're the first one that comes up. And then as far as every other social media site, it's just Xcalante.
Awesome.
You go to Google, type in Xcalante on like the first 7, different accounts.
Nice. I am Topham, obviously. Destroy Topham in various places. Etherfire on Instagram. And SoundCloud, actually. I've got my music up there too. Have an excellent week, everyone. Thank you, Andreas, again for being my guest.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Wicked. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Goodbye.
Adios.